Yes, it's time for another 31 Days of Horror. We're doing 2017, back for another year. And this time we're going to do something a little bit different. In the past, it was always day 1, day 2, day 3. But when the whole point is to watch 31 movies during the 31 days, it doesn't matter which day it is. I could watch 3 movies in one day. Mm-hmm. It's more about which movie count you are on rather than which day of the month it is.
So what, it's going to be movie 1?
So,
movie?
Yeah, exactly. Screw day 1. No, it's day 1. But that's irrelevant because we're talking about a haunted house, which has an interesting story behind it. See, I had a Haunted House 2 on Blu-ray, and I didn't have a haunted house, and Leslie wanted to watch a Haunted House 2.
Well, I already saw it.
Yes, she's already seen a haunted house. I have not seen it. These are my 31 Days of Horror.
Yeah, it doesn't count for me. I can see whatever I want.
That's right. She doesn't keep track of which one she hasn't seen and which one she has. She just watches the movies because she likes horror movies. Some of them.
Yeah, yeah.
We watch a lot of stinkers when it comes to these 31 Days of Horror. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pat it. If you're following along with us in 2017, be prepared for some stinkers.
Be prepared for me being like...
Yes. If she even decides to be in the video. She has already stated this year that if the movie is so bad that she has nothing constructive to say about it...
Hey, I normally don't have anything constructive to say, okay?
Either way, she may bow out of being in the video itself.
Yeah.
And like always, there are a bunch of movies which I do not subject her to because they aren't...
Because we have to live together.
Now we have to live together. No, it's just simply because I know there are certain genres in horror she has no interest in. She doesn't care about a sci-fi horror film. So why would I make her watch a sci-fi horror film? It doesn't matter how good it is. She's probably not going to like
stupid.
it. Yeah. So where were we? Oh yeah, the reasons between...
Why were
Yes, a haunted house. So yes, she wanted to watch a haunted house 2. I hadn't seen a haunted house 1.
I wanted you to see a haunted house.
She wanted me, but she wanted to watch it as well. It was something she wanted to watch. Again. And it was on Netflix, and I had my copy, but again, I didn't have a haunted house, and I'm sure a lot of you are like me. You can't watch 2 without seeing number 1. Well, she convinced me that I didn't have to see number 1 to see number 2. So we watched number 2. So I am going into a haunted house, or I went into a haunted house having already seen a haunted house 2.
And technically, yeah, I guess you should see the first one, but I was just like, I had enough already. We looked in stores, we couldn't find the first one, and I'm just like, whatever, just watch it.
No, we couldn't. Yeah. And then we found it like last week.
Yeah, of course.
But that's neither here nor there. So watched a haunted house 2, which directly affects my thoughts on a haunted house.
Oh no. This is my fault.
So I do suggest you watch a haunted house before you watch a haunted house 2. Yes, you can watch a haunted house 2 without having watched a haunted house, and you'll be able to follow along. There won't be anything. But I will say if you watch 2 before 1, it will affect how 1 plays out. For those of you who don't know, a haunted house is a Wayans joint, essentially. This is written by and stars one of the Wayans, Marlon, who was in a couple of the Scary Movie things. I don't think he wrote them or anything. I think he was just in them because it was the other... There's like a billion Wayans. In Living Color, started in Living Color, and the brothers, and I think there's cousins and uncles and second cousins and stuff all involved these days. But they're all rooted in comedy. I don't think anybody's really gone straight. Marlon.
I don't know.
I don't know. One of them may have tried.
But they're good.
But anyways, their comedy is is whatever. Like Marlon had a part in White Chicks.
Oh, that was not a good movie. I mean, I laughed. But...
Yeah, this is the thing about the Wayans movies. You will laugh once, maybe more, but you will at least laugh once. There's going to be at least one joke in there. If you stick it out and you don't get the negative thoughts right off the bat and you let it play out, I think you're going to find at least one laugh.
You can't take it seriously because it's a parody, right?
You can't take any of it thing. Yeah, and so A Haunted House, much like A Haunted House 2, is a parody on the Paranormal Activity movies, essentially.
Yeah.
And just like anything, they like to roll in, popular culture and other movies and all that kind of stuff to make up their whole, their parodies, right? As any parody movie would. This particular film is not directed by a Wayans, but directed by a guy named Michael Tiddes, who I've never heard of. I'm not gonna lie, but he has directed a couple other movies, and one of them was A Haunted House 2.
No, that makes sense.
So yeah. He did 50 Shades of Black, which I believe is another parody movie.
And that Naked, that was just on Netflix.
Yeah. So he's done. I'm sure he's friends with the Wayans.
Yeah.
There must be the connection there. So it's directed by him and written by Marlon Wayans. It's got Marlon Wayans, Essen Atkins, Marlene Forte, David Koechner, Dave Sheridan, Nick Swardson, and a whole bunch of comedian people. All right, well, I think JB Smoove is he a comedian? I don't know if he's a comedian or not. Cedric the Entertainer has a big part in the second one as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it plays out like a parody, lots of jokes, and I'm guessing you really liked it because that's why you wanted me to watch.
Not that I really liked it. Like, there's other funny kind of parody movies that I like better, but it's all right because I like funny stuff in general, and it's so like weird and over the top and like the stupid stuff, right? And I like that stuff, so it's not like a great movie, but I had fun with it.
If you wanted to compare it to like Scary Movie, which franchise would you?
I like Scary Movie.
The Scary Movie one's better. Yeah, so did I. I think there was more budget behind the Scary Movie ones than there was with this. Well, I mean, it's Paranormal Activity. I mean, how much budget did you need to shoot Paranormal Activity?
I don't know. I just thought those were overall just better in general.
Now I'll tell you why you don't watch 2 before 1. A lot of the jokes are the same, except they are sort of like upped a notch. So if you watch 2 and you see the jokes and you're like, haha, these are funny, and then you watch 1...
It was a little less funny.
It's not as funny because A, you've already seen the joke, but B, you saw the joke taken to the next level. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of like dialing it back in the first one, even though a lot of the jokes are like the exact same joke. And I would get it in number 2. You're kind of playing off the joke in the first movie. That was a really good joke. You play it up in the second movie and you take it to the next level, and that makes it funnier. I don't know of any joke really where when you take it, do it again, but dial it down, then it becomes funnier. Well, at least not this kind of humor. This. Let's be honest. A lot of sex, poop, fart jokes, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of humor you're looking. Slapsticky type things. We're not looking at the highbrow type humor. This is lowbrow to the umpteenth level. Like they're looking for the lowest common denominator when they're telling these jokes. And I mean, there's nothing. I don't have a problem with a good poop and fart joke. Whatever. You know, they're not everybody's cup of tea. Some people like to be hoity-toity and be like, oh, I can't. You know, I can't do that. I've got to be all highbrow about my comedy, and it's got to be serious with undertones or whatever. No, I don't have a problem with it. You know, like the American Pie movies when they go and they have the poo joke. It kills. It kills. Why? Because poop jokes are funny. They just are. Okay? And so, yeah, there's a lot of sex jokes in this movie.
Do you see is it this one?
I think it's both. I think he gets naked in both films.
He loves to show it.
This is kind of a review of both movies in a way, because essentially, if you see one, you see the other one.
It's two different.
They are different. Yeah, but either way. And one of the reasons why seeing number 2 before season 1, or season. First movie and the second movie, don't watch the second movie because there are flashbacks. So, well, this is, trailer comes on for the first one, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I may have seen this movie before. Well, I saw parts of it, and they were all the parts that were in the trailer, so I was like, oh, okay, that would be why. And then you have a lot of the same jokes, so... Yeah, it took me a while before I realized I had not seen a haunted house. But yeah, like I said, having seen number 2 before 1, the jokes didn't hit like they should have. I knew, like, there were parts where I was like, that probably would have been funny if I hadn't already seen it.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, in my head, I just wanted you to see, like, the number 2 one. And I kind of didn't really think that you were going to see the first one, so it didn't really matter. And I definitely didn't think like it was going to be like a 31 Days of Horror thing. So, I'm sorry that I ruined the whole experience for you. Okay?
She ruined a haunted house for me, guys. She ruined.
I did.
Ruined this masterpiece of film. No, well, Haunted House is what it is. It is a parody film, and if you like parody movies, you like your Naked Guns, your Hot Shots, your scary movies, that kind of stuff, you're probably going to get something out of... You're probably going to get a lot more than just something out of a haunted house. If you're looking for something scary, don't bother. You really don't bother.
No, because it's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be scary. Though there are a few moments in it where you might actually get hit with the jump scare. They do try, because they are imitating Paranormal Activity. They do have a few jump scares thrown in there, and because it is a comedy, you may not even expect some of them.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those just out of nowhere, right? Like they just finished telling a joke, and you're all like, haha, that was funny, and then they hit you with this. It's like, what the heck was that? Or it could be the complete opposite, where you're expecting a joke to come out. You think it's going to be some kind of funny thing, and then there they go, throw out something scary, and then it turns into a joke. But that initial come out of nowhere is the scary part, right? Yeah. I will say that between number 1 and 2, A Haunted House and parody movie, there's... Why with all the sex? I'm
surprised you're saying that.
Well, it just seemed like... Cause
it was excessive.
I was expecting... Honestly, because like I said, I had not seen the films, so I didn't know what to expect. And I was relating it to Scary Movie. I was relating it to the Scary Movie franchise, but with the Paranormal Activity, right? I just figured this was, okay, the Scary Movie franchise has ended, we're moving on to a new franchise, and we're going to make, fun of the new movies, and a lot of the new movies, the Paranormal Activities, your Sinisters, your Conjurings, and all that. I figured that's what we're going to be, making fun of now, right? Annabelle and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's number 2.
That's number 2. So that's what I was not expecting the level of... It seemed like almost every other joke had something to do with sex of some sort. Yeah, not that was a bad thing. It just was, having seen number 2, which takes it to the next level, I was not expecting that at all. Which I guess it made number 2 that much more hysterical for me. But unfortunately, like I said, then you dial it down to number 1, and yes, it's still there, but it's not as
really, yeah.
not as much, and not that. So you just kind of go, okay, yeah, I get it, I get it. That's kind of funny, but yeah. So again, worth checking out if you're into parody movies. Mm-hmm. Be forewarned that it's a lot of sex-related jokes rather than other types of jokes. And make sure you watch the first one before the second one, unless you're not planning on watching the first one at all. Then I would say, yeah, sure, you can jump into the second one, not a problem. Go from there. In terms of acting, I think everybody's kind of like a seasoned comedian in terms of who they had in this. Whether you like their humor or not, I wouldn't say anybody really stood out as being like bad.
No.
Right? Like they come across as just doing that standard In Living Color, Saturday Night Live type skit like humor, you know.
Yes, trust me, we've seen things where the acting is very, very bad.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, you may think it's bad. No, that's the way the characters are supposed to be. It's parody movies, right? It's they're often parodying something else. So you got to keep that in mind. So, yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of the thing. It does look lower budget than the scary movies. It just does. And I think that's one of the brilliance of the Paranormal Activity movies. Don't need to spend a lot. You can make a movie and go out there and make millions of dollars. And you know what's even more brilliant than that? Parodying those low budget horror films and going out and making just as much money. Because, yeah, there is a segment of the population that loves this stuff. Absolutely loves it and will eat it up. You're not going to see them being, breaking records at the box office. But you know what? If they make $8 million, you know what? It only costs them $1. That's that's crazy amount of profit, right? So, hey, kudos to them for being able to do it. It's like the Weird Al Yankovic of movies, right? You parody somebody else's work, but you do it well enough that people like it. And I think the Wayans have managed to kind of pull that off. Whether you like them or not, that's their shtick, and it works for them, and I like it. I just wish I hadn't seen number 2 before number 1.
Here we go.
Just because I knew I would have enjoyed A Haunted House a lot more. But that doesn't mean I won't watch it again.
Okay, so just pretend you didn't see the second one.
That's right. I will forget both movies in about 5 years, watch them properly. 1 before 2, and by then there should be a 3 and a 4. And I'll watch them in order.
I'll make you watch number 4.
Yeah, before number 3, and then it'll screw everything up, and we'll be back to the start. So, if you had to rate this movie, what would you give it?
Out of 5?
I guess.
Okay, here's the funny thing. Normally I probably would have said like 3, because I like that stuff. However, because I hadn't seen the first one in a long time, like since it was out first probably, and then I saw the second one, and then saw that one again, and I was like, 2.5.
2.5, so it went down?
Yeah. Like when I watched the first one again, I was like, I like it less than...
Was that because we had just watched the second one?
Because I just watched the second one. And
that's what happens.
Yeah.
You watch the second one before the first one, even though she had watched the first one before the second one. It's cyclical.
No, it's true. That's why when we had it on, I was like, this is not as good as I remember it being before.
Nothing ever really is it?
But it's because of...
Yeah, it's because of that.
So I ruined it for myself.
Sure, yeah, ruined it for yourself.
I ruined everything.
But would you recommend it?
Yeah.
She would recommend it. There you go, folks. You heard it from Leslie herself.
It's not my fault if you don't like it, though.
Follow along with us. By the time you see these movies, this video, it could be what, January?
No, you gotta do it in October at least.
Anyways, part of the reason why you're not seeing these right off the bat is...
Not my fault.
Yeah, my computer's not even hooked up yet.
Not my fault.
So, we're here in the new house. We are moved in. We are living life, but we still have a lot of boxes, so such is life. I don't know where all the parts are. They're in a box.
And that's not my fault.
Not her fault. No. Not at all. But anyways, hopefully you see it soon. Let us know what you thought of a haunted house. If you've seen it, I know you've seen a haunted house. You saw the scary movies. You went out and saw a haunted house. You may not have seen a haunted house too, because you're like, there's too much sex in this. Why is it not like a scary movie? But then some of you might have been like, yeah, there's a lot of sex in this, and they would immediately went to see a haunted house too. I don't know. That's your thoughts. You just heard our thoughts. Anyways, thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.